not too long ago, I found out that staff test results were announced. Right now I'm a little frustrated. I'm not frustrated in the sense of like, I didn't make staff. I knew that the chance of me making staff this year was going to be very slim to none. And the only reason that I say that is because I'm very real with myself. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't know that I wasn't going to make staff. Cut my hand this morning, don't mind that. I knew that I wasn't going to make staff because, for one, like I said, very transparent with myself. I knew the day that I stepped out from taking the WAPS test. I knew when I got my EPR score. I just knew, like, everything was against me. Not gonna say I did not study. I studied my ass off. And I really mean that. I studied so much that looking back, I'm like, dang, I wasted a lot of weekends. You know, not saying that like it was a complete waste, but y'all get what I'm saying. It's just like, I worked really hard for it to not even be acknowledged. You know, I worked hard for the promotion percentage to work against me, essentially. And that's how it feels. And that's why I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm okay with the way that WAPS test is handled, the way that the percentages is handled. No, I'm definitely not okay with that. I feel very defeated in a way because, like I said, I tested so well. I studied, I applied myself. But just because y'all want to have a percentage that's so low, I'm not going to put rank on. Like, no. And I feel very defeated in a sense also because I don't even know if I'll make it next year. You know what I'm saying? And it's like almost guaranteed that you're not going to make it your first time. Especially within my AFSC. That's another thing too. Like, I don't want to hear anyone sit up and say, oh, you can, you'll make it next year. Da, da, da. It's not just the test. It's the AFSC that I'm within. If they don't want to promote that many people, my career is already small. It's slim to none. I'm also going to say this too, because I'm not going to sit here and like, really dwell on this because it is what it is and there's nothing I can do about it now. But I'm also going to say that don't let that test get y'all down. I know my work ethic and I know the things that I'm capable of doing. I know the leader that I have the potential of being. You know what I'm saying? I'm a leader without passing that WAPS test. I'm a leader without getting a 5 on my EP. You know, if you didn't make it this year, you may not make it next year. It may take you umpteen times to make it. Don't give up unless you just feel like you shouldn't have to be putting in all that just to get recognized, because I fully am with you on that. Now, if you didn't apply yourself and stuff, that's a whole different story. I really just want to go home and, reevaluate my life or reevaluate a lot of different things because, yeah, nah, this ain't it. And again, I get it. Like, everything happens for a reason. I firmly believe that. So this may be setting me up for something else in my life. And that's how I'm going to approach it. It's how I'm going to perceive the situation, because I'm definitely frustrated and definitely like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't really have any words for it. I just don't want to talk about it to nobody. But I had to come on here and give y'all my like transparency and give y'all my real like authentic feelings and thoughts right now, because wow, like, and I'm not even putting my thoughts all into probably a well-formatted sentence like y'all was expecting, but like I said, my thoughts is all over the place. I have a lot of thoughts, but then at the same time I don't have any words. Like, I'm gonna talk to you later. Peace out. All right, so this is my second attempt at filming this video, but I want you guys to have really good quality, so yeah, I think it looks so much better. This is it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. As you can tell by the title, we're talking about some things. So as you've seen in the previous clip, the day that I found out about staff test results, it was a very emotional, mentally draining day for me. Not just day, actually week. And I can now say this, that was probably the worst week that I have experienced being in the Air Force or in the military. That was a really rough week. There were so many different emotions that I felt during that 1 week. I feel like I'm good for the rest of my life. Yeah, it was crazy. Today's video is going to be all about my staff experience. You may have already assumed, and you were correct, I did not make E-5. I did not make staff sergeant this year. This was my very first time testing, and your girl was stressed out from beginning to end. We're just gonna recap everything, and then I'm going to kind of speak on where I currently stand as far as staying in the military. I'll also give my bit of advice, as always, on, you know, this situation. And if you're in a similar situation, just some tips on how to navigate that situation, just so you are, you know, not as stressed out as I was, because it was not a good feeling at all. So I don't want you guys to have to feel that. If I can, you know, provide anything to help alleviate that, I got you. The only reason that I was eligible to test is because I did earn BTZ last year. I tested for staff in June of this year, so this video is a little overdue. I just wanted to make sure that I was, you know, in a way clearer headspace, and that I was not just talking off of, you know, anger, frustration, whatever, because that's not beneficial to you, and it's not beneficial to me either. So here we are. Much better space mentally. So as I stated, I tested in June. I found out test results in August along with everyone else. And yeah, it was just a very trying time for me. I am not gonna lie to you guys. I studied a lot. I started studying in January of this year. So I definitely wanted to, you know, set myself up for success. I do not think that you should complain if you did not put yourself in a space where you can thrive. If you are not setting yourself up for success, then that's ultimately going to be on you. If you did set yourself up for success like I did and you still miss it, then yeah, you definitely deserve, you know, a moment, and you also deserve to give yourself grace. That's something that I definitely forgot in the heat of the moment, and I had to kind of collect my thoughts and come back to reality. And the reality is it's not that deep. As I stated, I started studying in January of this year. Just some gee whiz information. If you guys didn't know, every year higher Air Force, big Air Force, they release the chapters that are going to be on the WAPS test for that current year. I went and printed that off immediately, and that is what you see here. So those chapters. Now the chapters change, so make sure you're getting the most updated information. And then this is my study binder. So anyways, here's my binder that I created. These were the chapters that I was studying, and you can tell I was just like, you guys can see it. I had started highlighting chapters as I read them. Additionally, I went in and had tabbed chapters. So basically all the chapters that were on the WAPS, I just titled them and started handwriting important information, things that, you know, I thought were gonna be valuable as far as me taking the test. This was just kind of like my method to my madness. And I also went in and placed my EPR in here. So we'll talk briefly about EPRs, then we'll move on. So I printed my EPR just because everyone should print their EPR, I feel like, just for tracking purposes and documentation. So if you do not know what an EPR is, it is your enlisted performance report. This was my very first EPR. So your EPR is basically a culmination of everything you've done for the time that it is backdated to, which would be from the day I joined the military, which was 12 January 2021, and then all the way to March of the year that I tested, which was 31 March 2023, which is that cutoff for you to be eligible for staff. On your EPR, it should have your duty title. It should have your key duty tasks and responsibilities for your AFSC, you know, like performance and your primary duties, training requirements, and then just like a whole airman concept, things like that, resource utilization, how did you contribute to the Air Force. Your supervisor will review your EPR with you, and then at that point, your EPR is graded by your supervisor. Your EPR gets sent to your flight chief. It gets routed basically through your chain of command. So flight chief and your squadron commander, they do not have to concur, but it would be nice if they do concur with the way that you are graded. My flight chief and my squadron commander did concur with the way that I was graded on my EPR. Your EPR also gets graded by even higher leadership. Now, typically it will get done in-house is what I was told, but we did not have enough eligible senior airmen for my squadron, so it went to the wing leadership. I feel like that kind of was unfortunate because those people do not know you. Ideally, you would like to have it done in-house, but for my circumstances and for my time frame, it was not able to be done. It went to higher leadership, and that is where you receive you know, promotion statements if you are to get one. Now there are different ratings for your promotion statement, and I'll clip in a photo, but for now I'll just go over it with you via like Google because you could find it online. This is the current enlisted evaluation system promotion recommendation scores. So for example, this is my first year testing. I received a 3 on my APR, not a promotion statement. So I started out with the standard 200 points. The rest of those points are made up by your WAPS test scores. I started out with a standard of 200 points. You can earn additional points if you are, you know, given a promotion statement. So I received a promote, which is just the standard 200 points, no additional points. There's a not ready now, which is 0 points. So you're not promotion eligible. There is a must promote that is 220 points. And then there is a promote now being 250 points. So 3, 4, and a 5. So I received a 3, didn't receive any additional points. I am a realist. I knew the day that I got my APR I was not gonna make staff, but I still wanted to try my best because hello, this is an opportunity. I don't want to miss it just because, you know, whatever. I still am going to give it my best effort. Also, when I received my APR, my supervisor knew kind of where my headspace was as far as like staff and everything. So he did send me an email, obviously, because I had to sign the APR. And he just, you know, wrote a really nice email, which I printed out just for like documentation purposes. And, you know, I feel like your leadership has a lot to do with how you excel. And I only say that because it's the truth. Having good leadership is important. You know, not everyone is fortunate to have good leadership, but when you do have a good leader that's in front of you, it's nice to be like appreciative. I say all that to say, he sent an email and he just let me know, like, you know, you are a hard worker, intelligent, thoughtful, dedicated airman, and things like that mean a lot, especially when like you are the type of person that I am when it comes to things like this, because I really am hard on myself. And so this was a very trying situation for me. I'm not gonna lie. I was going through it. I really was. And I had to take a step back and like understand, you deserve grace, Summer. Like this is so trivial in the grand scheme of things. I definitely tried my best, and sometimes that's not good enough. And you know, military life can be very stressful. You just honestly have to roll with the punches. And I know sometimes people are like, what? That's ridiculous. It is, but it's life. You know, there's so many other things going on in the world. Like me not making that promotion, you know, it is what it is. And the way that I also look at it is that just was setting me up for something that's better prepared for me. The universe has a different path for me in my journey in my life. So sometimes things don't work out the way that you think they do, but they work out the way that they were supposed to. I think if you're going through a similar situation, my piece of advice, give yourself a moment, absolutely, you know, validate all those feelings and move on from it. But it definitely makes you feel like side eye, right? Because damn, like I deserve, you know, grace. I deserve a congratulations because I tried. But at the same time, it's like, you don't need that from anyone else. The only thing that I felt like I needed in that moment was for people to acknowledge, like, girl, you put in a lot of work. You gonna be good. But like, nobody did that for me. And so obviously I was overwhelmed by my emotions. And I was like, y'all, I gotta go. Like, this is the worst thing that's happening right now. And I need to just go. Like, I didn't want to be around anyone. I really just wanted to go home and like be with me, you know, and just like not be around so many voices and opinions. It was just very annoying. So if you're one of those people, like if you see that, just acknowledge the person, like let them know, hey, you did good. Even if you didn't make it, because we know how rough it can be. In full transparency, I studied my ass off like January to May, and I received an 83 on the PDG, and then like a 73 point, they were both point something, 73 point something on the SKT, and then 83 point whatever on the PDG. And like, y'all, I was like, what? And everybody's like, that's good. I'm like, they're like, yeah, look at your AFSC averages and then look at the PDG averages. I'm like, I scored well above both. So I mean, right, that's my whole staff spiel. You know, I just really wanted to give y'all like authentic experiences, so that's why I included the clip from the video. And y'all still thinking about y'all going through all that. I was like, you know, this is good content for YouTube, because this is how I feel right now, currently in this moment, and I need to let them know that, hey, if you're feeling that way, I felt that way too. I wish the best of luck to anyone who's, you know, promoting in the future. Just keep your head up. I know it sounds so cliche. Just don't give up. Like, honestly, because I feel like some people do that, and then it's just, you know, it's just a never-ending cycle of, you know, the Air Force did this to me. No, you gave up. But anyways, just stay positive. Now, as far as my mindset on staying in the Air Force, because during that week I was like, I'm separating, it's done. I really felt like that, because you feel bad. You feel like terrible, and no matter how many times people was like, you worked hard, after the fact they see you flipping out, then they want to say that, you're like, you just saying it. I have a little over a year left on my contract. I'm hitting 3 years in January, and more than likely I am going to re-enlist. I'm currently trying to retrain as well. I'll talk more in depth once I get a little farther along that process, just so I have more information to give to you all. If you guys are interested in retraining, I can just give you, you know, my experience like I do for everything else. Throughout your career, your mindset will probably change a little bit. That's kind of where I am. Like, I always want to go for bigger, better. You know, I don't want to stay stagnant, become complacent, none of that. So in this current space that I'm in, it would do a lot for me to just move on from it if possible. And that could be a curse. It really could. I don't know. But I'm optimistic. I'm going to try my best, and whatever else, you know, I do. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And as always, do not forget to subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. I hope this video finds you well, and I hope I gave you guys some valuable information, something to help you along your Air Force journey, and something also to help you along your journey in life. That's the ultimate goal here, is to motivate and inspire people. If you guys ever have any additional questions, thoughts, comments, anything, feel free to hit me up on Instagram. I'm the most active on my Instagram, and I talk to people all the time. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.